Hey guys, thank you all for tuning in to my Mad Max the video game First Impressions video. Now this is a First Impressions video, like I just said. It's not a review, it's not even a pre-review, anything like that. It's just my thoughts on the first few hours. I have about, I'd say probably 2 hours or so into the game, probably 2 or 3 hours. So I'm not saying I have a large grasp on the game to talk about it in depth or anything like that. This is just the very kind of beginning of the game, my thoughts on the beginning and impressions. So first of all, this game, it's not game of the year, you know, it's not the best game ever, it's not the worst game ever either. I think it's definitely better than the reviews that are going up. Some of the reviews are good, but the game is getting, I think, 6s all around, which isn't terrible. Like 6s and 7s, that's not a terrible score, but and a lot of people do think that is a terrible score. Personally, I don't think that, but I do think it is better than most reviews. Now, like I said, it is not the best game ever. It does have some problems. Like I said, I'm not that far into it, but I have noticed a few of the problems. But overall, so far, it is a good, solid game. Now, a few of the problems that I have are the controls. Most of the controls, I'm using mouse and keyboard, by the way. I plugged in my controller, and I'll tell you why in a second. But I plugged in my controller for a few seconds, and it was just, I don't know, I'm more of a mouse and keyboard guy. I like the more control over my character in the game. But some of the technical issues that I have are the driving. The driving overall is pretty good, actually. You know, it's good, but I've noticed a lot of latency in the driving mechanics. For instance, if I hit A or D, you know, to go, it takes maybe half a second to a second for it to actually change the direction of the vehicle. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but of course you can notice it when you're actually playing the game. I plugged in my keyboard, my controller, and it's the same thing. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if it's something on my part, or it's the game, or it's, I mean, I have a wired mouse and keyboard. The controller is wireless, but I have a wired mouse and keyboard, so I don't think it's as far as wireless latency or anything like that. But with that aside, with the technical issues with the driving, overall, I think it's a good game. A lot of people are criticizing it because it's, as far as the fighting mechanics goes, it's a Batman clone, or a Shadow of Mordor clone, where they use the rhythm kind of, I don't know, he doesn't really have a name, but the rhythm kind of style of fighting, where it's, you know, left click to hit, right click to parry or cover. And personally, first of all, I'm a big fan of the Arkham games, and I love the fighting. You know, when the first Arkham game came out in 06, I believe, 09 maybe, you know, it's innovative. It was innovative, and it hasn't gone old for me personally. And it isn't exactly like the Arkham, you know, Batman games. It's not exactly like that. It does share a lot of similarities, like I said, with the rhythm kind of mechanic, or the rhythm kind of style of fighting. But obviously, you know, Mad Max is not, you know, fighting like Batman, jumping over people, you know. And when you hit people, it is, you definitely feel the power, you know, of his punches. It is really, really rough and really awesome. So with that aside, there's not much story so far. It does open up with a pretty lengthy cutscene. I'd probably say about 5 minutes or so, which probably by today's standards is kind of normal, I guess. I mean, Metal Gear Solid, I'm not going to get into that game right now, but it did have a pretty long cutscene in the beginning. But you know, it kind of but it starts you off with no car, no anything really, and you first meet this guy. His name's Chum or Chum Bucket or something. I don't know. He's a pretty cool guy. He definitely fits in the Mad Max universe, which is another thing I want to talk about. The universe, the Mad Max world. Not only was the movie absolutely amazing so far this September, best game, not best game, best movie of the year so far. It's definitely gonna change with Star Wars, but so far, Mad Max Fury Road, best movie of the year, amazing, and it definitely shares a lot of similarities, even though the game and the movie were both made in different times. They were made during the same time, but they don't have anything in common other than the title. You know what I'm saying? And it would have been nice to have seen a few things from the movie in here, but I get why they didn't. But I mean, that's just a small, not even an issue, but a small little thing that I would have liked to see in this game. But yeah, the universe, really, really well done, really nice. The dirt, and now the visually, the game is. It isn't the greatest looking game of all time, but it definitely is very, very good looking. One of the best looking games this year, I would definitely say that. The dirt, when you're driving and while you're walking, it really just feels dirty. You know what I'm saying? It really feels apocalyptic, I guess. Now, I haven't played it on the consoles, but I'm playing it on my single 970, and it is running at 1080p Ultra, 60 frames per second while recording. I'm sure I can play it at 1440p, probably 60 frames per second also. I'm going to have to turn anti-aliasing down maybe, but overall, the game is extremely well optimized. I am really pleased with this, and to be honest with you, it was a shocker with how Arkham Knight turned out. That was extremely frustrating, but yeah, the game, I was surprised to see that it was really well optimized, and I was really happy to see that. But I believe that's it for my first impressions. See, the game came out over a month ago. I don't know if you guys would want to see a review. I don't even know if you guys want to see a first impressions. Like I said, it's been a month away. I just finished Metal Gear Solid, so I want to get into a new game, new channel. So I thought I have my impressions here. But if you guys would like to see a review when I'm done with the game, please let me know. And I believe that's it. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and have a good one.